Welcome everybody. So I'm going to be covering Heracross and Mega Heracross. There's a lot to get into, so this will be a longer video. Again, I do have to cover Heracross and Mega Heracross at the same time. First things first that I want to address is there's two major things I want to address here. Number one is the fact that Heracross has lost its oh my god, its OP abilities. It lost them. It lost Moxie. It lost Guts. And so you might be thinking, well, that sucks for it, isn't it? Isn't that worse? And you would not be remiss to think that by looking at it. So there are very specific reasons for that. So um, I'll address both things. So Guts is locked to trainers only. If that interests you as to why, you can feel free to go to the new ability guide and read up on some information there. I don't want to waste too much time talking about it, but the very, very short summary, if you want to read more, you can read this. But the very short summary is that it is overpowered to be able to pre-burn or status your Pokemon and then go into a battle with Guts boost as well as an item. That's not intended. Like, that's not the intention in, like, actual legitimate play. Like, you're supposed to run a Flame Orb or a Toxic Orb, or like switch it in on a status move. You have to use a little bit of strategy. You can't just get Guts and then a Choice Band boost at the same time. That's absolutely absurd. So that's the reason for that. It's balancing reasons. It's just too overpowered. As for Moxie, there is a certain other bug fighting type that is the fucking epitome of Moxie. And I think you guys know what I'm talking about. It's Buzzwole. Buzzwole absolutely necessitates not Moxie. There's no other ability that makes sense for him than Moxie. Like, there's no way he doesn't get Moxie. Look at this motherfucker. He literally flexes like in every. Moxie is the perfect ability for him in terms of like fitting him as a Pokemon. Obviously, he's gonna have another great ability, but we'll get to that when we get to Gen 7, which will be a while away. But Buzzwole's gonna be awesome. But I can't tell you guys what Buzzwole's other ability will be. I totally could if I wanted to, but I don't want to waste time. But what I will say is that it doesn't overlap too much with Mega Heracross because it is faster than Mega Heracross, but it's not as strong, not nearly as strong as Mega Heracross. But it can hold an item, has less special defense, that kind of thing. And of course, Moxie is not a boosting ability in the sense that it doesn't boost. It doesn't give you an immediate attack boost. It only gives you attack boost when you kill things. So, yeah, that's the reason for losing both of those abilities. All right, Moxie is because it overlaps too much with Buzzwole, and then and if you're wondering what happened to Beast Boost, of course, that is a new ability called Proficiency, which has been given and will be given to more Pokemon. So that's the reason, okay? And also, I wanted Ruthless. So you might be wondering, okay, why not Ruthless and Moxie then? Because I definitely wanted Ruthless. Because originally Heracross and Pinsir have the same ability, like they both get Moxie in the real games. And so I was like, I want to keep both of them at the same ability. And so what I did is I kept Ruthless on both of them. So they both have dual stab with Ruthless. Pinsir has X Scissor and Drill Run, and then Heracross has X Scissor and Cross Chop, and of course they both get lots of great coverage moves and stuff. They actually have very similar abilities overall because Mega Pinsir has Hustle, and then Mega Heracross also has Hustle. So I wanted to make it so that both of them share at least one ability, just for soulful reasons, because they are rivals and stuff, Okay, let me go back to Heracross. So that's that. As for and Ruthless is an extremely powerful ability. So for those of you who are new here, Ruthless works like Sniper, to where it gives you a 50% boost to your critical hits. However, I have reworked critical hit moves, so that way moves like Night Slash, Laceration, Cross Poison, Cross Chop, and X Scissor, meaning 3 coverage moves and 2 stab moves, will have a 50% crit rate. So those are all 70 base power, 50% crit moves. And with a Scope Lens, that will always crit, and that is extremely, extremely powerful coming off of 130 base attack. But before I get into the actual nitty-gritty of the abilities, I just wanted to quickly address that Heracross is not nerfed. Heracross is not worse than it was before just because it doesn't have Moxie. It's better still. Also because of a sizable speed boost. It has 5 more speed than Pinsir because it looks a little bit more quick than Pinsir. And I like it because Mega Heracross is super tanky and just a massive wall breaker, and it's just one of the strongest mons in the hack in terms of raw damage output. Not just because of the base attack, because just 190 base attack, obviously 190 base attack is extremely strong, but there are other mons that outdamage that significantly because it's a mega, so it can't hold an item. But the abilities both boost its attack by 50% depending on what moves you're using. Well, also boost it no matter what. And for those of you new here, Hustle is also buff. So Hustle is an amazing ability, but I don't want to jump around too much. So I'm going to talk about their stats first. And also, before I do that, actually, I'm going to be talking about Sap Sipper on base Heracross. So that's an extremely obvious fitting choice. I don't know if you guys know the GIFs of Heracross like sucking on Bulbasaur's bulb. That isn't like a weird little thing that he just does in anime. All of their dex entries talk about, like, not all of them, that's an exaggeration, of course, but the over half, maybe. A good portion, okay? Several dex entries talk about word for word. It literally says it sips the sap from trees. I believe one of them literally, yeah, like, okay. Hold on. It loves sweet honey. Okay, that's the wrong one. Um, Come on. There's definitely several entries that talk about him sipping sap. I know it for a fact. Yeah, Heracross loves sweet tree sap or sweet sap, and we'll go looking through forests for it. Um, it gathers in forest to search for tree sap, its favorite food. It's very fitting for an ability. And yes, it's not as powerful as Moxie, but you actually will get it the same attack boost. So what you can do is you can bait a grass type move on the opponent's side. Say, for example, you have a water type in, then you hard switch into your Heracross, you get a free +1 attack boost. So that's already incredible. And then of course you're also immune to those moves. So you are bulky. I did make both of them much bulkier. Heracross does have less special defense, but it has much more physical defense given the fact that it is a fucking giant rhinoceros beetle. It should have a large defense stat, so it's a nice base 113. And of course, it is very quick. 92 base speed is a very solid speed tier. If you want to go check how that stacks up with other mons, you can go see. He has access to tons of priority moves, which I'll get into, and those are incredible on both forms, Mega and non-Mega. Also, in this hack, I have designed it so that Megas are not objectively better than their pre-forms. Obviously with some exceptions, but overall, the non-Mega evolved form is genuinely a good Pokemon in its own right, and it doesn't need that Mega to function. So that's something that I do want people to consider when thinking about that kind of thing. Is that it's not like Mega. It's not like as soon as you get the Mega, you're only running the Mega. There's lots of cases where the pre-Mega is better because it can hold an item, because it might have a different type, because it has totally different abilities, because it has different stats. So, for example, Heracross's case, it's much quicker than its Mega, but it's not nearly as powerful or bulky. I mean, it is very bulky, but it's not. I mean, obviously, like maybe Assault Vest Heracross is pretty comparable in bulk overall if you average out the defenses and stuff. But at the end of the day, like it's Mega Heracross is insane, but so is base Heracross. So yeah, I'm gonna cover all the Ruthless options in a second, but first I just want to talk about Sap Sipper because that is a genuine ability that's really, really useful, and I don't want people sleeping on it. So in this hack, you have access to infinite usability capsules, and this is one of those cases where you really should just be swapping between your abilities. So in most cases, you're gonna want Ruthless, but there are definitely a lot of cases where you might want Sap Sipper because not only do you get that giant +1 attack boost, which is the same as Ruthless, so after you switch into one grass move, you're just as strong as you are with Ruthless. You also get an immunity, a complete immunity, and your special defense stat is not. I mean, it's solid. It's 80, 113, 80 bulk, but it's not like insane, So like a grassy terrain boosted energy ball is still going to probably do over half from anything with a decent special attack stat, or let alone even stronger grass moves. So with all the power levels of this hack, resistance is, yes, he does resist grass, of course, but it's not. Doesn't mean that Sap Sipper is a bad ability. It's a great ability. You get the free attack boost. You can switch it in. You're also immune to status moves that are grass type. So stuff like Spore, Sleep Powder, and Grass Whistle. You are completely immune to those. Strength Sap as well. You're immune to all of those moves. That's amazing. And again, the AI in the Pokemon is very predictable. As long as you have a mon that's weak to grass and as long as, for example, say you're fighting a Mega Heracross or a Heracross, and they have Bullet Seed, Rock Blast, Pummel, Pin Missile. That's their 4 moves, okay? And you have a Swampert in, they're always going to click Bullet Seed. Even if you have any water type in, as long as it's weak to grass and it's not weak to the other moves, it's going to click Bullet Seed no matter what. So you can always predict that and always guarantee that you get that +1 attack boost from Sap Sipper for free. And again, you are completely immune to things. So the best part is you can just switch that ability whenever you need it. So say you have a boss fight coming up, oh my god, they have a really strong grass type, I need to counter it, okay, run Sap Sipper Heracross. Or, oh shit, I can swap in, get that Sap Sipper boost, and now sweep with like a speed boosting thing. Or maybe my moveset isn't as limited because Ruthless limits you to only crit moves for the most part. Meanwhile, I should have thrown, there's no room for it, never mind. I was going to say focus energy, but I'm not sure where I'd put it because of the spacing of this. I don't want to make the font any smaller. I'll just put it in over Seismic is good because it boosts your accuracy for hustles. I just want to, we don't need air release. It's fine. It is really good coverage though. Simon's House makes too much sense. I'm gonna drop Aerial Ace for Focus Energy. Yeah, if you want to run those sets instead, Focus Energy is pretty good with Ruthless, of course. So I'll run that, and let me just swap that on Heracross real quick. Cool. All right, that's fixed. Sorry, everybody. Okay, we're good now. I could have done over Fury Cutter, but like, yeah, actually that makes more. I'll just do over Fury Cutter instead. Because Fury Cutter, you're never keeping that. I mean, it's okay with Technician, but it's not consistent at all. Fury Cutter is not good anymore. It was never good to begin with, but people like to use it because it's like unga bunga. Click button. Hold on. Sorry, everybody. I should not be doing this live, but I'm doing it anyways. And then we're gonna put Focus Energy. All right, there we go, fixed. We're good now. So back on topic. Yeah, Sap Sipper is a great ability, and you can always have the option to switch between it for free. Infinite usability capsule. You just pick whenever you need Sap Sipper, and otherwise you're running Ruthless. So that's a great option right there. And of course, as a pre-mega ability, that's extremely useful because you can swap in your Mega Heracross, get that attack boost. Sorry, swap in your Heracross, get that attack boost, and then Mega Evolve and get Hustle. So I'm going to also address how goddamn powerful Mega Heracross is because it is an extremely powerful Pokemon, as it should be. It's based on a Hercules Beetle, rather. Base Heracross is a Rhinoceros Beetle. Mega Heracross is based on a Hercules Beetle, and those are literally the strongest animals in the animal kingdom by weight, like by far the strongest animals in the animal kingdom, which is why they're called the Hercules Beetle. And so it makes sense that they have the massive power. 190 base attack in its own right is good, but there are plenty of Pokemon that outdamage it, like I said. But when you consider the abilities, it is definitely in the top 5 or 10 most powerful in terms of damage. Obviously, it is relatively slow. However, it can boost speed with agility or web support or that kind of thing. And of course, it also has tons of priority moves. And those priority moves actually work with both Hustle and Technician. So the best part about your Mega Heracross's abilities is that there's a lot of overlap with his abilities because a lot of the moves that are Technician boosted are also Hustle moves. And what I mean by Hustle moves, if you're new here, is that there are tons of moves now that do not miss. They completely bypass the accuracy check on a Hustle. So they still get that giant 50% choice band boost, but they don't get their accuracy decrease whatsoever, which is incredible. So those moves are all of your priority moves. So Mach Punch, Creeping Strike is your dual stab priority. You have Aerial Ace, which is +2 priority and flying type and 55 base power. You have Sucker Punch, which is Sucker Punch, and then oh my god, First Impression, man. First Impression on Heracross is one of the best moves it can get. First Impression is boosted by Ruthless, Hustle, and Technician. First Impression is 60 base power, but it always crits. And it doesn't miss, okay? So with Ruthless, it gets boosted because it's a crit move. With Technician, it gets boosted because it's 60 base power, technically. With Hustle, it's boosted because it's just a move that can't miss, because it's priority. So no matter what of your abilities you're running besides Sap Sipper, you get a 50% boost to First Impression, no matter what, which makes First Impression 135 base power no matter what you do. Because of course you can always guarantee that it'll be 135 base power. So that's a great option right there. Coming off of 130 or 190 attack, it's great. Great option. Mega Heracross First Impression, bam, that kills so many things. Even Resist will be absolutely smacked by it. It's awesome. And of course you have Mach Punch, Creeping Strike, all those other priority moves, like I said. In terms of other overlap between Hustle and Technician, and actually Ruthless, there are 3 moves. There are 2 moves that work with both Hustle. Let me slow down. There are 2 moves that work with Ruthless, Hustle, and Technician all at once. One of those is First Impression. The other one is a move called Finishing Blow, which comes from Fell Stinger, and that is a 35 base power move that always crits, can't miss, and again is 35 base power. So it was boosted by Technician. So with all 3 of your abilities, besides Sap Sipper, you get that 78 base power Finishing Blow. And if you kill something with Finishing Blow, you get +3 attack. It's a little bit overkill on Mega Heracross, to be honest, but it's still a great move. You can run Finishing Blow plus Mach Punch and just kill everything. And then you run Sucker Punch for Ghosts, and you're basically just killing everything. I'm sure even Resists die to a +3 attack Mach Punch from a Hustle or Technician Mega Heracross. Frail Resist, obviously a bulky Resist will definitely take it, but like Frail Resist, they probably just die anyways. It's such a strong move, man. It is very, very powerful. And of course, Mega Heracross is slower just based on the design. They already lost speed, but I just made that speed difference even more noticeable. Base 67 speed is not a bad speed here, however. It does outspeed some Pokemon. You can run a speedy Mega Heracross with or without agility. But does that sound? I don't know what that sound was, but either way, you are you can run that with agility, or you can just run bulky Mega Heracross. You have base 143 defense, which is incredible. that fits very well given the fact that they again are a Hercules beetle and those animals. Jesus, those mons are real nice IRL mons. Yeah, those animals are super armored and they have like this super tough exoskeleton to fight each other with. So of course, giant defense stat makes a lot of sense looking at his design. Obviously, nothing over 150. I think that's a little bit overkill, but 143 is a very fitting defense stat. And I did let him keep his 105 speed F. Initially, I had 95, but I like this better. I had 195 attack at one point, but it's ridiculous. It's overkill. 190 is plenty. Honestly, 185 is plenty. 170 would be plenty with these abilities. But of course, I was like, you know what? It is a Hercules beetle. It is pretty slow. Not actually slow. It's not the fastest. So it's pretty fair. It does have a decent amount of weaknesses. Bug fighting is weak to 5 types. No, 4 types. With 4 times weakness to flying. Fire, Psychic, Fairy, it's 3 times weak too, and then it resists grass, fighting, ground, and dark. It does not resist bug anymore because fighting does not resist bug anymore, which is also a good buff for Heracross because your bug stab is even better. Fairies, fightings, and ghosts no longer resist your bug stab, which is excellent. So yeah, I already covered Sap Sipper's usefulness. I covered base Heracross. Of course, base Heracross loves to use like scarf sets, for example. God, like if you if you just want to go with Unga Bunga and not care about missing, you can just run Hustle Megahorn on Mega Heracross and just do absurd damage. It's not even funny because Megahorn's 130 base power, 85% accuracy, and it's incredibly powerful. Of course, that is pretty inaccurate. 85% with Hustle is like what, 66 or something? Gonna do math. This is the most autistic way to fucking do this math, and it's okay, I can say that. I'm not ableist, I promise I am. That 117, 17, I don't know why I did the math that way, but yeah, it is 85 minus 17 now. Okay, 68%. So I was close. So that's very. I mean, that's not even that inaccurate to be honest. But it is pretty inaccurate. You're not gonna be running that. You can run like Hone Claws. What you could do actually is Hone Claw. This is overkill as fuck. But like Hone Claws gives you +2 accuracy. So moves like Megahorn and Stone Edge actually won't miss. Storm Throw, etc. They won't miss even with the Hustle decrease because it gives you +2 accuracy and of course that +1 attack. So that's incredible, super strong shit right there. What you actually could use though is a Smart Strike set because Smart Strike is 75 base power and it boosts your accuracy by 1. So that's great with Hustle. You also have other moves that work with Hustle. So things like Circle Throw are amazing. Circle Throw is 90 base power. I love how the throw moves are so strong on both Mega Heracross and base Heracross because these are Hercules and Rhinoceros beetles and like they fight by throwing each other. Like it literally says here, like it throws them, it lifts Pokemon, it lifts intruders and throws them with its hurl, throws them with its horn. And I absolutely love that it has one of the strongest. It's one of the strongest users, if not the strongest user of Circle Throw and Storm Throw in the game. It's very, very fitting. I love that so much. Super Scout is so strong. It is not that overpowered. Again, it is slower. Even base Heracross, it is quick, especially if you like run priority. And but it's like if you're fighting one, it's not gonna like kill your entire team unless you play poorly. You'll be able to probably just outspeed it and kill it. Tons of stuff has access to flying moves now. You can totally just one-shot it with at least on the special side. On the physical side, it might take it if it's not stab or something. It'll probably take a hit or 2 because it's so bulky, even with the 4 times weakness. Not that it's bad. Again, it has tons of ways to also fight these Pokemon. Like again, it has Rock Blast, Technician boosted, Bullet Seed, Fury Swipes is good with Technician, Pummel and Pin Missile are all Technician multi-hit moves. They're all 25 base power, 100% accurate. So that's just super, super strong. Circle Throw, again, is negative priority, 90 base power, and that works with Hustle. So you can actually force the opponent out, and that's a very strong move with Hustle. That's 135 base power, can't miss, super awesome move. And then at level 70 and level 65, you get Wicked Blow and Storm Throw. Those are both 80 base power, 90% accurate moves that always crit. So Choice Band Ruthless Heracross can run Storm Throw, Wicked Blow, First Impression, Finishing Blow. And you don't even need to run Scope Lens, and you can, or Life Orb, whatever item you want to run on that set, or any item, Copa Berry if you need to take up whatever, Focus Sash, but it depends on whatever is in front of you and whatever the strategy is for that fight. But the point is, you can run an entire move set of moves that always crit because Stone Edge also does that. So you have Stone Edge, Wicked Blow for coverage, you have First Impression, and then you have Storm Throw and Finishing Blow for stab that always crits. So those are all your moves that always crit that you have access to. And then of course you have the 50% crit move. So that's great with Ruthless. Awesome stuff right there. Super, super strong. It's definitely better than Mega Heracross because of the speed. Not, let me rephrase. It's definitely better than Mega Heracross in a lot of cases because of how much faster it is and because it can hold an item. And because, you know, Sep and Ruthless do have their own utility. For example, Ruthless bypasses Intimidate. Because it crits, you don't worry about Intimidate drops. You can also use Superpower plus Ruthless because Superpower drops your attack by 2 and it's 150 base power, but then you can click, you know, a crit move after that and you won't be taking that, you won't be worrying about that -2 attack because the crit bypasses your -2 attack stat. So that's an awesome thing you can do as well. They have tons of new coverage. Literally all the coverage they could ever want. I mean, you know, no like fire moves or anything, obviously, just because it doesn't make sense, but they do have lots of other great coverage. Hustle. So Hustle is also incredible with stuff like U-turn. Oh, it's so good because Hustle doesn't miss with U-turn. So you can run like a bulky, slow U-turn and just U-turn from Mega Heracross on Hustle sets just does so much damage. You can easily run a Hustle set that does not lower that does not worry about missing. Like you can run a full moveset with moves that don't miss. So I'll actually cover all of the moves that don't miss now with Hustle on Mega Heracross. And then I'll talk about Technician. And then I think that'll be mostly it, honestly. So let me go. So yeah, Hustle moves. So you have U-turn for stab. Stomping Tantrum is a great ground coverage move that can't miss. Circle Throw, I already covered that. It's amazing. Skull Bash is a nice option. However, you can't really run it. What you would probably have to do is just do raw Skull Bash because you can't run Power Herb Skull Bash on the Mega, obviously. But what Skull Bash does now is it gives you a +1 accuracy and attack boost as well as a defense boost. So that's awesome. And of course, that can't miss either. So yeah, let me actually write like. Let me actually. Sorry, there we go. Let's fix that. Yeah, sorry, back on topic. So yeah, you have also Focus Punch is great on Mega Heracross if you want to run like Hustle Focus Punch with like Substitute or something. Or if you just know for a fact that your opponent isn't going to attack you that turn for whatever reason, you can click that Focus Punch. It's 180 base power. It can't miss. So that's 180 base power move that cannot miss coming off of 190 base attack with a 50% boost from Hustle. And then you get a +1 accuracy boost after you land it as well, which means you can use other moves that aren't Hustle type moves. You know, or they aren't moves. There are moves that can miss, but you won't miss them anymore after the +1 accuracy unless they are already inaccurate moves like Mega Horn, in which case you'll need +2 accuracy with Hustle to not miss those, which is what the home clause is for. So yeah, that's so incredible. Finishing Blow is incredible. Smart Strike is good coverage. Shadow Punch is also good coverage and also can't miss with Hustle. So that's it for the regular moves. And then of course you have all your priority moves. So you have Aerial Ace, First Impression, Sucker Punch, Creeping Strike, and Mach Punch. And I should also add Creeping Strike to this list. Somehow I have to make this font smaller, I guess, and just put Creeping Strike on there somewhere. Oh, Friend Attack no longer exists. We'll just, yeah, this is a little bit outdated. It's fine. All right, we're good now. Make that 18 again. Oh, why did that? Really? You're that much? Okay, it's fine. 17 is fine. All right. God, it is so strong. So that's Hustle for you. Incredible ability. And of course, you can always just raw dog it and just not give a fuck and run regular moves and just not care if you miss because you're bulky enough to not really care if you miss anyways. But again, if you wanted to run an entire moveset of not missing moves, you can run all of those priority moves. So you have dual stab priority and Sucker Punch and of course First Impression, which is also stab, but it's not like you can't click it whenever you want. It's only on the first turn, but it's extremely powerful. And what I love is that you have so many moves that overlap with your abilities that you don't really need to change your moveset between switching abilities as much. Obviously you still should be, but like you don't have to as much. Like you're not like, especially the level up moves, the only ones that kind of take an L is like the crit moves, but even then you still have First Impression and Finishing Blow, which are crit moves, so you can still run those on Ruthless Heracross. You know, so that's awesome. Really, really cool stuff right there. So strong, I love it. What else is there? You have a good utility. You have reliable recovery and Molt that is bug type recover, so that's good. You know, for both Heracross and Mega Heracross. Again, it is extremely powerful, but you have to keep in mind it's not like completely broken. Like it is kind of slow. Even Mega Heracross, even base Heracross, like it's fast. Don't get me wrong, and it's strong as fuck. Don't get me wrong. And first impression and priority moves are great as hell. Don't get me wrong. And being immune to Intimidate with Ruthless is incredibly strong. It's strong as hell. Like I'm not trying to undersell it. I also just don't want to make people think that like, dude, this is so overpowered. You know. Things in attack are going to balance out. Trust me. The power levels are so high to the point where it's like, okay, I have things to answer this somehow. You know, you always have you have parting shot on like everything. You can always play around these types of threats. All right, you got parting shot, you got all types of competitive items that you can swap, and of course the AI is just not good. Even though on max settings, it's very predictable. You know exactly what it will do as long as you've mastered the AI. You can know exactly what move it's going to click, and you can switch into something or use a specific move or specific item to counter it every time. You just need a little bit of brain power. So yeah. Other good stuff you can do like a indoor reversal set if you want. I did consider keeping Swarm, but I think Sap Sipper fits way too damn much to not have Sap Sipper. It's just such a perfect ability in terms of fitting for them. Yeah, lastly, I think I'll just go over all the Technician moves, and I think I'm done. So Technician moves, of course, is all of your priority moves that I listed besides Sucker Punch. Every single other priority move is Technician boosted that you have. So Mach Punch, Creeping Strike, Aerial Lace, First Impression. Fairy Swipes, Bullet Seed, Rock Blast, Pummel, Pin Missile. All of those moves, those 3 coverage moves and those 2 stat moves are all multi-hit moves, and those are amazing with Technician, of course. Very, very strong. You have Finishing Blow is Technician boosted as well, of course, like I said earlier. Rock Tomb and Bulldoze are Technician boosted. Grass Knot and Low Kick are both physical and both lower speed by 1 and can technically also be used with Technician if the Pokemon is light enough to the point where you're getting a 40 to 60 base power hit. If you're getting 40 to 60 base power, that increases to 60 and 90. So the average base power of Grass Knot and Low Kick is actually pretty high with Technician. So that's pretty cool. You could totally run that to like lower their speed because Mega Heracross is kind of slow. You can run that and like lower their speed and then outspeed them later if you want to do that. You also have Drain Punch. That's great on Mega Heracross with like Hustle or something if you want to run like Hustle, Drain Punch plus like Home Claws or something. I don't know. Or Smart Strike into Drain Punch or something. Bulk Up is great. Also, Swords Dance is incredible with all of these priority moves. Like you can literally just run priority if you want on your Mega Heracross or base Heracross and just click Swords Dance. Like, dude, Swords Dance, Mega Heracross, click your stab priority moves plus Sucker Punch for Darks or for a Ghost, and you're insanely chilling. Like, it's really strong. Really cool stuff. What else is a Technician? I think that's about it, actually. Power Up Punch is Technician boosted. That's become 75 base power. Acrobatics technically is Technician boosted on Mega Heracross. It becomes 75 base power. That's about it. So yeah. Oh, and Knockoff. Knockoff is a consistent 90 base power with Technician because it's 60 base power now, and that becomes 90 with Technician no matter what. So that's cool. Tons of great shit, man. Tons of great options. These guys are absolute powerhouses as they should be. They are not anything too insane. They will not class Buzzwole, that's for sure. I think Buzzwole still has its own amazing tools and stuff that it's gonna have. And yeah, that's about it for these guys. Super, super strong, super cool, super fun. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you like this type of change or this type of video and you're new here, I would appreciate it if you could subscribe. You know, you can see more videos from me. You can go to my Discord server in the description to see like live updates. You can check the Google Sheets out for yourself from the description as well, so you can see all the other changes so far. And most importantly, if you could leave a like and comment, that would also help boost the algorithm, and more people will get recommended my stuff. So if you did get this and you're recommended, you know, try making it so it happens to more people. And also thank you for listening. I really do appreciate it, and I will be back for more. So I'll see you guys then. Bye.